Whack-a-mole number 76. Trombones in the big parade with unattended. With a capital T that rhymes with P that stands for pool. Now, you know what that is, right? If you don't, you don't know your musicals. Five random picks. I might see if I can change this up a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but because things get boring, you need to kind of to keep things fresh. You need to liven things up. But I'm not going to liven things up. My life is too alive as it is, considering there's a pandemic going on around the world and things are fucked up. But at least I don't have to, I wear a mask whenever I'm out in an urban environment or inside a business establishment, as we all should. But I feel I don't have to do that in the privacy of my record library, especially whacking them all here. So, without further ado, number 76. This used to make noise. I don't know if it does anymore. God, things were so simpler when I was younger.
Ready? Please choose. Speed 1, speed 2, speed 3.
You get the idea. Whack-a-mole. I didn't invent it. I just stole the concept, worked it in my evil ways. That's what branding's all about. I've been doing that for 34 years. I think we'll do some twofers. Oh, the easy California sounds of the Eagles, one of these nights. One of these nights. What can I say about the fucking Eagles? Eagles are an easy target because as talented and great singers and musicians Glenn Frey and Don Henley are, they're but a bit of a wanker. They're a couple of wankers sometimes. Although, they made some great pop, country, rock records. Linda Ronstadt invented the Eagles. And then, of course, sweet, gorgeous Judy, Blue Eyes, Judy Collins. Oh my God, look at those eyes. How can Steve Stills not write a song about this woman when you're dating her? But great folk singer, and to her credit, she's sort of become a torch club singer in a way, cabaret singer, which is fine. She, started out more pure folk, but also was orchestrated. But, you gotta give her credit. She's the one that really pushed and introduced artists, songwriters like Eric Anderson and Leonard Cohen and Joni Mitchell, brought them to the forefront. But this had a huge hit, Sending the Clowns, of course, the song that Sinatra always, Stephen Sondheim's song, but beautiful song. As schmaltzy as it is, beautiful song. So that's Judith from 1974, 1975. Close. Hey, 2 Electra Asylum records, just by random pulls. What are the odds? David Geffen owns this catalog, that's why. Two. Speak of the Devil. Joni Mitchell, For the Roses. This is a beautiful record, right? Shannon, did you talk about this one yet? You've talked about everything of hers, and I actually did a feature, not as in-depth and as intelligent as you did, but I showcased my collection, because I think I pretty much, between compact disc and vinyl, have every single Joni Mitchell record. I'm a big fan. This is 1972, year I graduated high school. For the Roses, beautiful record, beautiful record. And of course, this is one tempestuous ride. Can you imagine being in the studio with Harry Nielsen, being produced by John Lennon in 1974, I believe, 3 or 4. The LA Crazy Session. Oh my God. Nielsen, who had one of the most gorgeous voices imaginable, just ran it ragged, and he sounds like, yeah, oh my God, you wouldn't know it's the same guy, and you kind of feel sorry for his voice pushed to the extremes and just hoarse and angst-filled. Although, over the years, I've come to like this album, almost like Nielsen's punk record with John Lennon. It's got the flux fiddle kind of idea of Lennon's production that emulates a little bit of Phil Spector that he was involved with at the time. And he opens up his version of Many Rivers to Cross, where he belts it out with Lennon's arrangement and production. It's really interesting, and I've grown fond of it over the years. The real head turner here, not necessarily a good way, but really interesting, is go to YouTube right now, listen to Harry Nielsen's version of the Dylan song Subterranean Homesick Blues. Out there. I do like Mucho Mungo Mount Elga, and I believe that might have been co-written or written by Lennon, possibly. That's a beautiful song. Rock Around the Clock, that closes out the record. Save the Last Dance for Me. Obviously, Lennon was in his rock and roll Phil Spector mindset of doing some oldies. Again, all the drug-infused, cocaine-laced musicians from LA at the time were on here, including Jim Keltner, Bobby Keys, Klaus Vormann, the great guitarist Jesse Ed Davis, and Danny Cooch, who grew up or played with James Taylor, Sneaky Pete, the great pedal steel guitar player, Keith Moon on woodblock, Keith Moon, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and Harry Nielsen in a room together in 1974. Can you imagine that? It's amazing. They all got out alive, more or less. Not successful, but over the years it's been interesting. So that's 2. Actually, I did one of these before. This is kind of my double fisting version of Whack-A-Mole, where I do 2 at once. So you get 10 records. Oh, God, I love this record. And you all know, or maybe you don't know it, but if you don't, a record you don't see, well, of course you see a lot. David Bowie doing Liz Lodger, and Fantastic Voyage, African Nights, Move On, Red Sails, DJ, Look Back in Anger. This is a fucking great record. This is one of his better records of the period, I think. I really love this record. What year was this? I used to know all these by heart, but this is 1975? 75, I believe. Anyway, really good record. The cover, those of you who are art connoisseurs might get the influence of the artist Robert Longo, who did these charcoal drawings of people kind of floating down buildings. I think I realize I've said this once in some video long ago. So really cool. Very similar to the opening of the TV show Mad Men, with these people falling out of buildings. Look up Robert Longo. You guys should, learn more about modern art. Maybe you do know about modern art. It's a whole different sort of thing, but I'm a big fan, and I think a lot of these artists, especially Bowie, were. Well, this is a fucking great record. This is Erykah Badu. And this came out, I'm thinking like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, 2016, so 4 years ago. And this is basically kind of a, but you can't use my phone, almost like a mixtape collection. Really, really good, really soulful, sexy, funky, clear vinyl. Erykah Badu. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Look at that cover, it's so gorgeous. But big fan of Erykah Badu, and this is a fun record. This is just a good, funky record. Just got a sexy, funky, smooth, sexy, funky. So it's 3? 2 more double whammies, double fistings. Nick the Knife, Nick Lowe. This is almost like this is cowboy outfit, or before the cowboy outfit stuff. Little past the power pop thing, but he does in here Burnin' Heart, which is really great, and Too Many Teardrops, gorgeous record. My Heart Hurts. Not one of his best albums, but it's still a really great record. It's got Billy Bremer and Martin Belmont on it. Carlene Carter, who he was married to for a tempestuous short time, one of the beautiful daughters of Johnny Cash, and Carlene Carter, or June Carter, they got divorced and she went to a drug-fueled spiral. Cool record. Well, another Harry Nielsen. I need to kind of stretch my arms. Gorgeous record. Now, this is when his voice was perfect. This is Harry, and this has the Puppy song, Mother Nature's Son, obviously cover of the Beatles song, a beautiful version of Mr. Bojangles, the Jerry Jeff Walker song, and love that. Simon Smith and His Amazing Dancing Bear. Now, that's a song written by Randy Newman. Those of you who follow my channel know what a big Randy Newman fan. In fact, he did an entire album called Nielsen Sings Newman, of all Randy Newman songs, way before anyone had even heard of Randy Newman. So he really championed his career. Gorgeous record, beautiful recording. 1969, this came out. Harry Nielsen, amongst my favorite artists of all time. The 70s comp, the late Little Richard, what can you say? Great Balls of Hearts, that's Jerry Lee Lewis, sorry. Long Tall Sally, Good Golly, Miss Molly, Jenny. I mean, you can't have even a rock and roll specimen collection without owning some Little Richard. One of the most amazing originals. I mean, piano player, R&B, soul, rock and roll at its finest, at its purest form, and just a great character as well. So this is a comp. It has the originals, and this is an originals. These are all in mono, and I believe this. I got this, you know, my personal record store days. So I got this in the 70s, and it plays on all phonographs. And then I got not a test pressing, a 12-inch single, an EP. Billy Bragg, okay. This has Days Like These on one side, and I Don't Need the Pressure, Ron, and Scholarship is the Enemy of Romance. Billy Bragg, I did do a feature with The Archivist, so watch the Billy Bragg feature we did. I love Billy Bragg. Punk, poet, sort of the heir apparent in a way in the British side of it to Woody Guthrie, way beyond Bob Dylan. He obviously, the estate of Woody Guthrie granted him permission, so him and Wilco did those 3 Mermaid Avenue albums of writing music to Woody Guthrie's lyrics that he had written that the family, the estate, allowed them to record. I love him, political. I saw him open up for Echo and the Bunnymen. I had no idea who he was back in 82, 83, 84, around when he first came out. I was blown away. He came out, the crowd was getting wild for Echo and the Bunnymen, and he came out with just one electric guitar, and if you've heard his early records, his first records, he thrashed it, and he just silenced that audience, and they loved him, and I've seen him 7, 8 times. I have a signed copy of the album. He did with Joe Henry of railroad songs, written in, well, actually played on trains and train stations throughout America, which is a gorgeous record too. So he's gotten into the Americana thing. His books on rockabilly and early rock and roll and roots music are amazing too. Political animal in a good way, fighter for the rights, the union rights, and Billy Bragg, those kind of people we need around soulfully as well as artistically. Just one man's opinion. My final double pull. 1. I can't stretch my arm this far, so. Salisbury Hill is one fucking great record, right? When I heard that, at the time there was nothing like that. What a great record. That's the second record on this record. Here Comes a Flood, the album ends with. I mean, the whole album is good. Now, I've always said this before. I have all the Peter Gabriel records. I love these Peter Gabriel records. I don't have all the live ones. And I always forget what the nicknames are. You know, they're all like self-titled, and there's like Flood and no, Flood and Car and Melt and Smegma and Dookie. Oh, that's wrong band. Gorgeous record cover. Is this Hypnosis cover? Yeah, covered by Hypnosis, the great artist who worked on Pink Floyd, 10cc, Paul McCartney, so many great conceptual artist covers. But what a great cover. What a great album. Original copy from 1977. It's funny how he was that early. I forgot about that. But Salisbury Hill was really played all over the radio, at least in the Bay Area on FM stations. And then I'm going to end with a Sun. This is a reissue from, I think this is like a 70s reissue of it. But Johnny Cash sings Hank Williams. I mean, Hank Williams. In fact, okay. There's a record you all need. Here's a tip. Those of you who are into Americana, into country music, and just, again, you want a specimen collection, you need a Hank Williams record. The one to get is a UK record that came out in the 70s, and it's this. This will have some of the best recordings. Now, his recordings are not audiophile recordings. They're, you know, vintage in a certain way. But this double comp is the one to get. Almost looks like a Charlie reissue, but it's not. It's an MGM Select Double. It's got all the hits, all the songs by Hank Williams that you need. And these were mastered from the original American tapes in mono. This is fabulous. UK, you can find it around occasionally. I got this, this is from the 70s. I had the copy, got rid of it. My buddy Coleman visited me in Seattle several years ago, and he put this in my hand and says, you need this album. You have to get this version. He knows the best out of all these kind of pressings. This is the one to get. I mean, I'm not going to slight you if you have some other Hank Williams record, but if you really want a Hank Williams record, I don't even know if these are expensive on Discogs or wherever. 40 Greatest Hits, MGM Records, came out in the 70s, double record, stunning record, beautiful, that wonderful MGM label. So, this is a calm Mazzy doing a whack-a-mole on a Sunday afternoon just because I was in the middle of a couple things I'm working on, personally and professionally, and I decided to showcase more of my collections. I went to pull some things to play. I don't know if you can even hear the music in the background. The side's over, so I gotta stop. It was Mingus, side 1 of The Clown. Mazzy loves you.